Forget about everything you've learned about relationships, whether in college, in school. If you understand this set of principles, processes, and psychology, the three P's, and if you understand the framework and fundamentals that I'm going to be sharing with you in this series, you'll know basically the things that you need to know to have a healthy, a decent, loving, happy marriage, as long as you're willing and your partner is able and you both have the same knowledge base from which you are executing your desires to be with one another, and you did not deceive each other. Let me tell you a little story. I got married, first marriage, in 1993. And little did I know, as I was going through premarital counseling, that this lady was scheming and conning and deceiving and doing everything she can to hide who she was, number one, but even more, find out who I was. And as we were going through this premarital counseling, faced with one of the most phenomenal pastors on this planet, Pastor Tony Williams, she was calling me, my fiancée was calling, and she was my ex calling me and asking me specific questions on specific pages and specific numbers. And as a Christian looking at another Christian, it never occurred to me that she was actually just copying down everything that I had written down. So when we go for those premarital sessions, it looked like we were perfect for each other. And my pastor was the one doing this counseling. And he knew me. He knows I'm not this reckless guy who's just going to jump into something. So if I find someone that I liked and I'm willing to go through premarital counseling, knowing that it may or may not lead to marriage, if he finds out and discovers that we're not right for each other, then, it's over. But good try, right? And this person knew that. And her goal was to make sure that any opportunity for anyone to say, this is not going to be her marriage to me, she is going to destroy any evidence. And she did everything. Now, on the wedding day itself, right after the church wedding reception, still in suit, in my tuxedo, she's still in wedding gown. We drove down to a place in California, where I got married at the time. And as I pulled up to take the final pictures in this garden area in Sunnyvale, I opened the door for her. And you know what? As I opened the door for her, something like the exorcist came springing up at me as I opened that door with a laughter that really touched my spine and almost got me paralyzed, saying, "You're stuck with me, ha ha ha." And I said, "What? Oh my God." And she shook me. No, you're not going anywhere. It's because if there was a way for me to escape through the rapture, self-induced rapture at that moment, I'd have gone with the Lord in that rapture and not stayed there. And this lady knew exactly what she had planned. And here I was saying, oh my goodness, what have I walked into? It was petrifying. And believe me or not, this was in January of 1993. It was a horrible 8 months for me initially. And a few days after my 30th birthday, I married at 29 then, a few days after my birthday, I was driving home and wasn't thinking about it. As I got to a hill, my last hill before driving home, I started having chest pain. If you know me now and you knew me back then, without a family history of coronary artery disease, there was no need for pain. No chest pain, but I had chest pain, and it was a warning sign. 3 months later, I had another episode of chest pain in December of 1993. It was at that point that I knew if I stayed here, I was going to die. It may not be immediate, but it won't be too far from the first episode of chest pain that I had 3 months earlier. And so I told this lady, you can't kill me. Yes, you trapped me into this marriage. And she laughed. I said, but I'm not going to stay trapped. I'm walking away. If God wants, he can kill me himself. Because one of the reasons that she had in mind was, I want to trap a Christian who does not believe in divorce. And believe me, I still don't believe in divorce. But I also know that a lot of people have suffered because they were trapped or deceived into a marriage covenant based on deception. That's what Jesus was referring to as fornication. Go check it out, okay? And it's clear to me that there are people naively who are being trapped into marriages. I want to help you avoid that victim status of being trapped because you didn't know about the other person enough. There are some things that you must do, some maneuvers you can make, even without the experience that I have, that if you know these few things, you'll be able to ask the right questions. I hope that origin story helps you to see what drove me into learning about relationships at a far greater depth than most people have. I have what's called expertise on how to build lasting, healthy marriages, and I have a patentable trademark process for doing so. You won't regret it. If you can, join me with one of our special retreats for couples. This is the only retreat on the planet where singles, couples, divorces, and counselors come together and they have a blast. This is Dr. Jackson. Have a wonderful day.